was just sitting there in my car, and in my hand was my notebook. And in that notebook, I'd written the words $150,000 per month. That was the amount of money that I was going to make in a single month. And my plan was to get there in about 90 days with a brand new business. Now, at the time, that seemed totally reasonable to me. The business I currently had, which was like a low ticket membership business before they were cool, this was back in 2019, I had a business that was doing about $20,000 per month at the time. So it wasn't like completely busted, the business, but it also wasn't doing super well either. And for some reason, I decided that I wanted to make $150,000 per month, and for some stranger reason, I actually believed that that was going to be possible for me to achieve and happen in the next 1 to 2 months. And honestly, when I think back to that moment, the reason I actually wanted to make $150,000 in a month was because I just wanted to prove that if I could make $100K a month, then anyone could do it too. And why 150 and not just 100? Well, I figured you could get lucky and maybe hit $100,000 in a month, but if you did 150,000, it's much less likely to be luck. And that turned out to be exactly right. From when I first hit my 100K month, and I fell short of the 150K goal, the period was actually 11 months until I got there again. So I actually did pump up to $100,000 in 1 month. I couldn't sustain it. I slipped back down underneath it, and then it took me nearly a year to climb all the way back up and across it to get to that 150K a month mark. But when I did get there, I did 20 consecutive $100,000 months in a row. So it turned out to be true that if I had have set that lower goal of just $100,000 a month, I could have ticked the box and walked away, and I would never have actually learned all of the lessons that really went into how to make it repeatable, how to make it sustainable, and how to do it again and again, and then how to teach it to someone else. I would have missed out on most of those lessons. And this method that I use to get there isn't unique to me either. It's the same method that every single person I know follows. All of my friends follow it. All of our clients follow it. And it's the method that if I was to start again from scratch today, I would follow to a T exactly to get to my first 10K per month goal. And of course, I would like to scale it from there because this model is scalable. You could do $100,000 a month, but it's not just, you're seeing me sitting here and you might never have met me before. Hey, I'm Tom, by the way. But it's not just me. Like, we have clients that, and I have friends that help women conceive naturally, and they're doing $100,000 a month and beyond. I have, friends that help people that are stuck in their corporate jobs kind of pivot and become fractional consultants, and they made up to $300,000 in a single month. People that help educate other people and professionals on trading the markets, trading the stock market, trading options. I've seen those offers get to $200,000 per month using this exact method that I'm talking about in this video. And these might seem like crazy numbers to you. And when I think back to when I started in business, the first thing I ever sold was I sold I actually can't remember, but I think it was either a packet of stickers or a keychain. This was my first purely online transaction. It was drop shipping, and I made like $7.95. So if someone back then had have told me you could make $100,000 per month, I would have laughed you out of the room. I would have been like, what do you mean? I can make like $7 maybe if I'm lucky, right? And if you're feeling that way, like, I understand. There might be a bit of time until you're going to be able to believe that $100,000 per month is possible. But, for me, that's kind of like what's normal with my peer group. So it's really important to think about when you're wanting to hit your first $10,000 per month is that the people you associate yourself with, they are going to dictate how you think and what you believe, and what you think and what you believe is going to dictate your results. Now, I think it's also important to note that it's not just the people you're in physical proximity to, though they do have a stronger impact. It really can be anyone. If you're listening to a podcast or videos like this from me or some of the other people that are kind of, helping you get to that next level, we can help you bend your own mindset to get there as well, because we are in proximity to you. You are listening to me, you're listening to other people, and we are infiltrating your mind a little bit. And that's why I think it's so important. Like, one of the key things that I would do straight away to get to 10K a month was I would need to get around people that are already doing it. And if that's in person, amazing. I try and get around friends that are doing it and just listen to them talk. But what I found to be most beneficial for me when I'm trying to go to the next level, let's say I was at $10,000 a month and I was trying to go to 100, or I was at $100,000 a month and I was trying to go to $1 million. I'm going to find someone that's already been doing it, and probably even one level up I'm going to go to their first video or their first podcast. I like to listen to different things. So even if I'm watching YouTube, I'm usually just listening to it. But I'm going to go to their first piece of content, and I'm just going to listen to everything. Because it's not necessarily the tactics, though those are important, that's going to get you there. Like, you can only really make use of the tactics after you understand where the tactics come from. So it's really what I'm looking for in my mentors is I'm looking for a new belief system, a new way of seeing the world and believing. And, the last person I did this with was Alex Hormozi, who's huge now, and, he's earned it. Congrats and all that's great. But when I started following him, he had like, this was maybe like 2018. He had like 100 or 200 podcasts. I saw he's up to like 800 now, which is crazy. He had like 3,000 YouTube subscribers. So this is like before he popped off, but he'd already had 200 podcasts, and he already had a business that had done, $4 million a month. And those old podcasts were not very tactical at all, actually. They were just him talking to the camera, talking to the mic. But by just listening to such a large volume, like 100, 200 videos, I was able to kind of rewire my brain to think in a different way, to see $100 million a year, see how it's possible, see what goes into it. And then, of course, one of the most important things then is actually just believing that it's possible for me as well. Because we have people making, $10,000 a month doing anything. Like, it could be helping people, upgrade their vibration and their energy level. It could be helping people resolve their past trauma. Like, I have a friend that made $42,000 in a week and a half just by elevating, for her coaching business, which is helping people resolve past trauma and kind of elevating, professionals through that. So there's a lot of money to be made using the model that I'm going to show you in this video. What is that model then? The model is online education. Now, I will say that in 2024, the market did shift. So I kind of have started talking about the old way and the new way. The old way is a lot of like, and it still works, to be fair. You can still do it exactly this way and it still 100% works. Some kind of opt-in, some kind of lead nurture, possibly like a video, VSL, video sales letter, webinar, and then onto a call and then selling them something high ticket. But the new way, I think, is more, it's more in alignment with how people are buying in 2025, which is more, it's got to be more trust. So you're going to need to have some more content. But where a lot of people go wrong is they kind of put the cart before the horse. So let me kind of walk you through the biggest mistake someone makes when they try and make their first $10,000 per month using this education model. They're teaching their expertise to people, whether they help people, start their own Airbnb business or whatever they've done, whatever that skill is, and they're teaching it to people. What they typically hear in the marketplace is they need to post content. Why is that? Well, let's have a think about it. I actually think you should use your critical thinking hat right now and just think through this. Why do they hear that they should post content? Because when a lot of people start their business, they're going to consume content to learn how to do it, which I think is smart. That's a good way to do it. But the problem with that is content, especially in the business space, is biased towards people that post content, because the people that post content obviously believe in posting content. Therefore, they post content, and because they kind of suck everyone else into that belief, and not suck in a bad way, but just by osmosis, everyone kind of starts to believe that same thing, because it's like this, what you hear the most is what you're going to believe, and that's the world that you're in. You're in like an echo chamber. Their content's going to do well. The problem with that, though, is then these new business owners think that posting content is the way to grow their business and the way to start their business and the only way to do it. And it's only because they're in this content echo chamber. They're watching reels of other people telling you that you should do reels. They're watching YouTube videos of other people telling you that you should do YouTube videos. And the problem with that is you get sucked into this belief that you need to post content first, and I actually think it's the other way around. I think you need to grow your business first and get customers first, and then start posting content. And even when you post content, I actually recommend promoting it via ads so that you can fill the top of your funnel with the best possible people and then nurture those people. So I'm going to break down, this might get a little bit more technical now, but if you want to hit $10,000 a month, you're going to need to up level first your beliefs, and we've talked about that, and secondly, your tactics and your understanding of the world and how you're actually going to approach something like this. So when you're starting your business, you've got to think about taking people that don't know you and turning them into customers. Now, there's lots of reports out there. It takes 10 touch points, 13 touch points, 7 touch points, whatever it is. The point is, it takes some touch points. Someone's not just going to see something once and buy. Well, that does actually happen, but The majority of people then will require further touch points. But the biggest thing that dictates your success is, I kind of say, like, to be a little bit crass, shit in, shit out. So if you're posting content, and you're not attracting the right people, or you're not attracting enough people, what are you going to get out of the bottom of that? You're going to get out the wrong people or not enough sales, because you don't have enough people in what we would call the top of your funnel, right? So the priority then is filling the top of your funnel with a large amount of volume, a large amount of traffic, or you're never going to sell anything to hit your goals. $10,000 a month, depending on what you're selling, if it's like a $100 course, that's like 100 sales a month. That's like 3 per day, more than 3 per day, including weekends. How many sales did you make last week? If it's less than 3 per day, then if you keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to ever hit $10,000 a month. And your price might be high. Let's say it's $1,000. So that's 10 sales. So that's about 2.5, 3 a week. To hedge a little bit there, 3 per week. Did you make 3 $1,000 sales last week? If not, then doing what you're doing is not going to get you to the point where you're going to hit your goals. You're going to need to do something differently. And for most people, they were indoctrinated in this belief that they needed to post content, so they start doing that, and they have this crippling problem. They do not have anywhere near enough traffic. They do not have anywhere near enough people that are looking at their content, that are buying their stuff, and they don't make any money, and then they don't know any other way to do it. So they keep posting content. But because they keep posting content, they keep getting these results that aren't good enough. They're not making enough money. I reckon if you surveyed 1,000 coaching and course business owners, and this might be a bit above your goals, but I reckon only 1 in 1,000 is probably making $1 million a year consistently or more. If you look at all the flood, like I look at it all the time on Instagram, the people that like our ads, there are just hundreds of people that are posting content every day that get 1 like, 2 likes, 5 likes, 1 comment. Like that is by far the majority. That's like probably, out of 100, that's like definitely what's mostly happening to those people. So what you see then is this advice of go post content. So you go and post content, and you're in this saturated market and everyone else is doing it, and you're new. So you're not starting at an equal playing field, you're starting from a long way behind. And on top of that, then you're not going to get enough traffic, you're not getting enough eyeballs to go through and actually buy your stuff, and you don't hit that 10K a month goal. So if that's happened to you and you've been doing this for a little while now and you haven't made $10,000 per month, and you are kind of being like, well, yeah, what you outlined is what I'm doing and makes sense that I'm not, but like, what do I do differently? Okay, so the first thing you need to prioritize is getting the right people in the top of your funnel and getting lots of them. And the way we do this is what I call scalable organic. So we're taking your best performing pieces of content or creating new, piece of content that look like content, and we're going to start calling them ads because we're going to run them as ads. We're going to promote them even on $1, $2, $5 a day. The budget doesn't have to be high. What's important is that you start getting more traffic, because if you don't have any traffic, you won't make any sales, and that's not going to change. Yeah, maybe in 2 years you get a reel that goes viral. Like, great, that would be awesome, and I hope that happens for you. But the majority of people, that's not a business. That's a hope. That's a pipe dream. That's not reality. So what we need to start doing is filling the top of our funnel with lots and lots of people. And the best way to do that is to take our best performing content or to create new content and then start promoting that. And the trick here is you want to optimize for purchases. So you want to be driving people to a purchase event for a low ticket product. Maybe it's $17, maybe it's $27. Now, a lot of you already have products like that. Some of you watching this are probably high ticket coaches. And I've made another video that you could go and watch to show you how to transition actually, and like why everyone's trying to transition and wanting to transition from high ticket coaching to selling low ticket digital products. I have another video on the channel. So if you're a high ticket coach, I recommend watching that after this. But you want to create that purchase event. Why is that? And why is it so important this year? Well, a few things have changed. One of the biggest problems that people are having in 2024 is they are struggling to get enough qualified leads. Qualified leads were diminishing, and it was really hurting a lot of businesses. So Facebook really, and Meta, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, you're probably mostly on Instagram. But if you're posting content or ads and you're optimizing to get leads, Facebook's going to actually show that content to people that have opted into other things. So you're going to get a lot of people that opt into a lot of stuff. Now, if you run your ad for purchases, Facebook's actually going to show that to the elite small bunch of people that buy stuff. Facebook's not even going to bother showing your ads to those non-buyers because it's a waste of Facebook's time. It knows a little pocket of people for your niche and your market, whether you sell how to get pregnant naturally, whether you sell, growing an Airbnb business, trading business, like become a remote sales rep. We've done this in literally hundreds of niches, thousands of clients. Facebook knows a little pocket of people that are right now buying exactly what you're selling. And your priority is getting your product in front of those people. Now, like I said earlier, there's a bit of a trust recession going on right now. So in the past, you could just run your ads and people would buy everything that you had. And even if it was $5,000, $10,000, that would be the case. But in 2025, it's a little bit different. So we kind of, instead of posting content first and having those problems we talked about, the wrong people or not enough people, we do it this way. And we start filling our funnel with the right people. We're filling our funnel with these purchasers, these people that are proven on Facebook to be buying exactly what you're selling already, right? And from there, not everyone's going to buy, but everyone's going to click, or not everyone, but a percentage of people that are interested are going to click on your ad or your kind of scalable organic, your piece of content that you're showing to more people. Now, everyone that clicks is going to go to your landing page, your sales page, whatever, your website, and you can track those people. And what you do from there is you start the organic machine in nurture sequence. So instead of posting this content and having no viewers, we get viewers first, and we only get these viewers from this beautiful little batch of people that are proven to buy products just like yours, and then we start nurturing them. So now we take 10, 20, 30 organic posts, we put them in a campaign, and we tell it, Facebook, run the ads to these people that are already proven to purchase things exactly like what you're selling. They're already proven to be interested in your thing because they went to your page and they just didn't buy it. So now let's nurture all these people. And let's say you run 100 people, it might not cost you very much, a couple dollars a click, a couple $100 to get 100 people to your checkout page. Chances are, if you're doing a good job, you're going to get a couple of purchases and you're going to make that money back. But you might have had maybe 96 of that 100 that didn't buy anything. So now every single day when they open their Instagram, when they open their Facebook, when they open their YouTube, whatever, your face is there talking to them, nurturing them as if it was organic content. So this is kind of like why I said earlier in the video, a lot of people put the cart before the horse. They start doing this content that nobody is watching. Try not to swear. The Australian in me likes to swear a lot. But you're creating this content that nobody sees. And if some people see it, maybe one post does well and then it's back to nothing. But what we do instead is we say, Facebook, let's go and find all these people that are already buying something exactly like what I'm selling. Let's get them onto my website and let's actually have some of those buy right away. And then now we're building this bucket, this huge container of people that watch every single post that you're putting out there. And what happens next? They know you, they like you, they trust you, exactly like what would happen organically. But instead of taking 12 months, it takes 12 hours. And that's where I think a lot of people just don't know about this strategy. And that's why I'm making this video for free today, to show you that, there's a better way. Stop putting the cart before the horse and start running things in the right sequence. And that's where you're going to see this huge transition. Now, all of a sudden, people are watching your content. What's going to happen is if you start putting out different ads to those people as well. So let's say we get them to click on our website, we send them this content for 7 days and they watch like 10 pieces of your content. Now we've achieved like what all the studies say of 7 to 11 different touch points. We've achieved that. So what happens next? Then we send them what I would call conversion content, or a conversion ad that's specifically designed to hit someone that's already indoctrinated, they already like you, they already enjoy your content. A specific ad with a specific offer to that person at a specific time to get them to go back to your website. And when you do that, you might send 100 people to your website, and instead of just getting 2 or 3 people to buy, you might get 10 or 20. Right? And then you take that money and what do you do with it? You reinvest it back into ads and you keep scaling up that way. So now, in 2 weeks, the smart coach or the smart course seller has taken some winning content. They've built an audience. They've gotten some sales. They've nurtured that audience. They've gotten more sales. They've taken that money. They've put it back in and they've built an even bigger audience. And the guy that's been just posting content, the girl that's been just posting content has done nothing. They posted 4 more pieces of content, a piece of content every day. They posted 20, 30, 50, 100 pieces of content. And nothing changed. They still get 10 likes. They still get 1 sale a week, a month, a year, a decade. And they have not got a system that can grow their business for them. So if I was starting my business again, and if I want to make my first $10,000 a month, that is the exact strategy. That is the exact roadmap that I would follow to achieve it. And if you have your own coaching business, if you have your own course business, or if you're wanting to start educating people online, showing them your skill set, and you want to grow it to $10,000 a month, and hey, you can even grow it to $100,000 a month. Just don't tell anyone. Then that is the exact strategy that I would follow to make it happen. Now, I actually have a ton of resources on this channel, so I strongly recommend, hit the subscribe button, drop me a comment if you enjoyed this video, but then go back to my first video and just watch it, and I'm going to show you the entire framework from different angles in more detail. I built this channel to be every single piece that you would need to hit that 10K a month mark, to hit that 100K a month mark. And if you want something that's a little bit more concise and condensed, I have a free training in the description that's our Ascension funnel training, and it basically shows you this exact model that I'm talking about here today, but it breaks it down in a little bit more detail, like what do the ads look like, how do you create them, how do you get them set up, what does that conversion funnel look like when you send people to your website, what should happen there, how do you ascend them into higher level programs or memberships or other courses on the back end. It's 70 minutes of pure value. If you did want us to actually build one of those funnels for you and build one of those machines for you to acquire customers automatically, we can talk about that. But otherwise, I'm doing this for free, guys. So just watch the first 70 minutes, and if you are like, no Tom, I don't want to work with you, I hate your content and you suck, just close out of the video. You don't have to listen to me talk to you about what it would look like for us to do it for you. You can take it all and you can implement it yourself for free, because that's the point of what I'm putting together here on this channel and in that video. So with that being said, either head back to my first YouTube video and start watching that, or if you're a high ticket coach, I did a video about how to transition from high ticket coaching, or if you want the more condensed 70-minute roadmap, go to the description, click the link there, register for the training, and you can just watch it all for free. See you in the next video.